Hello, my name is Fox and you're watching Den of Fools. Let's jump right in. In Week 6 of 2024, we had 116 tournaments with a total of 2,082 players and 7,173 games played. We finally had the first full week of data, with the majority of tournaments using the new rules. The Space Marines topped the charts with 23 wins and 64 top 3 placings. Their weight space is 12.1, which is significantly better than the 25.3 they got last week. The Orcs come second with 12 wins and a weight space of 8.1. It looks like the Orcs very much like the changes in the last update, with a significantly better weighted placing than the 19.4 they got last time. They performed well, although they have been near the top of the placings in previous weeks. The Necrons come third with 11 wins but far more top 3 places, with 39. They get a weighted placing of 14, which is very similar to last week. They have lost second but only by a single win. Overall, they seem to have been unaffected by the changes, which isn't too surprising considering they didn't receive any in the data slate. The first of the big movers are the Adeptus Custodes. They get 9 wins and 28 top 3s, with an impressive weighted placing of 8.7. All of their wins do come from the smaller tournaments, but it looks like the buffs have made a big impact on their competitiveness. Slightly more surprisingly, the Imperial Guard for the last faction in blue, also getting 9 wins with 20 top 3 placings. Their weighted placing of 7.7 is the third best overall. They also won the biggest tournament this week, the Beachhead Brawl, a 160-player tournament, which we will cover in the next tournament spotlight. It will be interesting to see if their good form continues, while players get used to the updated rules. The Sisters topped the green group with 6 wins, 15 top 3s and a weighted placing of 9. They got twice the number of wins as last week, which is half their weighted placing. The Imperial Knights come next, also getting 6 wins with 13 top 3s and a weighted placing of 5.8, the second best overall. They have made a big improvement from their previous tournament winning form, although the majority of their wins came from the smaller tournaments. The Thousand Sons get 5 wins with a weighted placing of 4.6, the best overall. I did suggest that they may do well after receiving no changes, as they weren't doing that badly before. It looks like the factions above them getting nerfs has helped them grab a few more tournament wins. The remaining factions in green all get 4 wins, being ranked by the number of top 3 placings. The Grey Knights and World Eaters get the same number of top 3s, with 13, and a weighted placing of 12.3 and 15.5 respectively. Chaos Knights and Drukhari are close behind, with 12 wins and a weighted placing of 12. This is an improvement for both these factions, compared to what they were getting before the data slate. The Drukhari have dropped back considerably from the number of wins they got last week, suggesting to me that players are better prepared for their new detachment and combos. The Death Guard get 11 top 3s and a weighted placing of 18.3, with the Eldari at the bottom of the green group. They managed to get 4 wins and 8 top 3s, with a respectable weighted placing of 19.5, although it is the highest in the green group. It looks like the nerfs have hit them quite hard, as they have pretty much always been in the blue group for the last few months. We have 2 of the usual factions at the top of yellow, with Tyranids and Demons getting 3 wins. Chaos Space Marines have also suffered greatly from their nerfs, only managing to get 2 wins with a weighted placing of 40.5, the worst overall. GW nerfed the most competitive army list, so it is not surprising they've dropped back significantly. It'll be interesting to see if they can improve as Chaos Space Marine players try new units and combos. Adeptus Mechanicus are still struggling with only 2 wins, but they did manage a weighted placing of 9.5. There are 3 factions in red, who unfortunately didn't manage a tournament win. 23 factions managed at least 1 top 10 placing, with the Space Marines getting the most top 10s with 208. The Necrons are in second with 108 top 10 placings, followed by Custodes in third on 85 top 10 placings. Unsurprisingly, the Space Marines are the most played faction with 20.51% of all players taking them. Necrons are the second most popular on 8.79%, followed by Custodes in third on 7.16%. The Buff Custodes see a big increase in their popularity, with the Eldari and Chaos Space Marines noticeably having a large decrease in theirs. It takes our resident stats guru and Ultramarine fanboy Fearless Fox many hours to collect all the data. It would be great if you could show your appreciation by liking and sharing the video. It really helps us with the God algorithm of YouTube. We have grouped the win rates by colour, with the key at the bottom of the screen. This week, the Imperial Knights topped the charts with a win rate of 55.6%. They really have made a big improvement on the win rate of 44.3% they got last week. I must say I expected them to do better, but not by this much. The points cuts were to nearly every unit, but at most they were getting you an extra armature when running the Big Knights. The Big Knights did also get a buff in their rules, so perhaps this is making the difference. In any event, it'll be interesting to see if they can continue to stay at the top. The Necrons are close behind with a win rate of 55.3%, which is a very similar result to last time. With all the changes to the other factions, I am a little surprised they are performing at pretty much the same level as before. The Custodes and the Thousand Sons are the first factions in the Goldilocks zone, both getting a win rate of 54.2%. This is a massive improvement for the Custodies compared to their form before the update, where they were firmly below the Goldilocks zone. The Thousand Sons have also seen a decent improvement on their win rate. They are looking like two of the stronger factions now, but we will have to wait and see if they can maintain these win rates. The Orcs are next with a win rate of 51.8%. They have been around 50% for a while, so they have seen a slight improvement from the data slate in terms of their win rate. They did get the second most tournament wins this week. It looks like they are enjoying the changes at the moment. The GC the Cults are close behind with a win rate of 51.5%. They did only have 21 players, so it is difficult to say if they are now performing better overall. Chaos Knights get a win rate of 50.6%, which is very similar to their usual performance. It is a bit surprising that the Imperial Knights have improved so significantly, while their Chaos counterparts pretty much remain the same. The Drukhari are the last faction in green, with a 50.4% win rate. They have dropped back considerably from the very high 64.6% win rate they got last week. I'm not surprised they have dropped back now all tournaments are using the new rules. The faction is still performing much better than the roughly 44% they were getting before their buffs. The majority of factions are in yellow, with the Sisters topping the group with a win rate of 49.3%. The World Eaters have seen a significant decrease in their win rate with 48%. Chaos Demons only have a slight increase in their win rate, despite their buffs, with 47.8%. Astra Militarum and Space Marines both get a win rate of 47.2%. I would have expected the Guard win rate to be slightly higher, considering they won a good number of tournaments this week. Chaos Space Marines get a win rate of 46.3%. They are certainly feeling the effects of their nerfs. The Mechanicus are still struggling on 45.3%, with the Votan on the same win rate. The Votan have again suffered greatly from their nerfs. Overall, the game is looking a fair bit more balanced, with only 4 full factions outside the Goldilocks zone. The Tyranids are still finding it tough going, with a win rate of 44%. The bottom faction is now Aldari, with a win rate of 43.8%. GW have seemingly managed to nerf them after several attempts. They did have some big rules changes, such as the number of fate dice being halved. Despite this, they did manage to get some decent results in tournaments. However, they are definitely a lot weaker than before. Their popularity did also take a big hit. I would estimate that the top competitive 40k players who were playing Aldari have moved on to other factions which could have further impacted their win rate. It'll be interesting to see if they continue to place at the bottom as we get more data. After careful consideration, we have decided to include the win rate from the last date slate as well as a rolling 4-week win rate instead of our usual Leviathan so far. The feedback we got was split, with a similar number of viewers wanting both options. We have ranked the factions on the win rate since the date slate, as this should be the most similar to GW's official win rates. We have reset the win rates from the 5th of February, as we know the data is from tournaments using the new rules. That does mean the ranking is exactly the same as the weekly this time around. The new rolling 4-week win rate does include the weeks before the balance update, which provide a good example of how the factions were faring before the changes. For example, the Necrons have a very similar win rate, while the Knights see a big improvement from 45.9% in the 4-week rolling to 55.6% since the data slate. The Aldari have also changed dramatically, with 43.8% compared to their 4-week rolling win rate of 53.4%. The Votan have seen a big decrease, with a lot of the factions looking fairly similar. The data will get more interesting as the weeks go by, and the rolling win rate is adjusted. The 4-week rolling win rate will be especially useful when new codexes are released. We would love to hear your feedback about the new tables, so please let us know what you think in the comments. This week we have a whole host of chapters, with the second most popular the Black Templars topping the win rates with 55.7%. Their win rate has improved on last week, even with their slight points increase. The most popular chapter, the Dark Angels, come next, with a win rate of 52.7%. This is a significant improvement on the 48.4% they got last week. They did get second and third at the Beachhead Brawl, so we will be having a closer look at what's doing well when we do the tournament spotlight. The 3 Imperial Fist players get a 50% win rate, with the Space Wolves on 49.1%. Phyllis's favourite Blue Boys, the Ultramarines, get a win rate of 48.1%, with the Salamanders on a 46.3% win rate. The Iron Hands are the first chapter outside the Goldilocks zone, with a win rate of 44.4%. The Blood Angels have become the third most popular chapter after the detachment buff. It seemingly hasn't helped their win rate as of yet, which is 43.6%. The Death Watch top the red group with far more players than the other chapters and a win rate of 35.7%. This is a big drop off from the win rate of 45.8% they got last week. The White Scars get a win rate of 27.3%, with the Raven Guard on a 15.4% win rate. Overall, the Codex chapters, with a decent number of players, have performed slightly better, with most of the Diversion chapters staying the same or increasing their win rate. As with the All Factions rankings, we have added a 4-week rolling win rate to the chapters, alongside their win rate since the last data slate. We do restrict the number of chapters shown to those with 10 or more players, which does remove a few that had less than 10 players this week. The Black Templars are seemingly performing even better despite their slight nerf. The Dark Angels have a big increase in their win rate since the data slate, with 52.7%, compared to the 4-week rolling win rate of 48.1%. The Space Wolves, Ultramarines and Salamanders all see a slight improvement in their win rate compared to the 4-week rolling, with the Blood Angels performing slightly worse. The Death Watch have seemingly taken a big hit. Their 4-week rolling win rate of 44.2 is much higher than the 35.7 they have got since the data slate. We will be adding more chapters to this list as we get more data in the coming weeks. We have provided the same treatment for the Chaos Space Marine warbands as we have for the other factions. As we only have a single week of data since the balance changes, we will focus on the weekly this time around. The single Alpha Legion player tops the win rates with 66.7%, followed by the Iron Warriors on 60%. The Word Bearers have a win rate of 52.9%, with the Night Lords on a 50% win rate. The Emperor's Children have a win rate of 45.5%, with the most popular warband, the Black Legion, at the bottom with a win rate of 34.5%. We have seen some significant decreases for the more popular warbands. Like always, the Unknown sub-faction gives a good overview of how CSM are performing in general. The 4-week rolling win rate of 50.5% compared to the 46 they got this week really shows they've been nerfed pretty hard. If you enjoyed our content, please subscribe, check out one of the videos on screen, and consider using our affiliate links in the description. Thank you for watching.